and you don't have to tell us numbers, but where are you closer to today? Are you still in the 6 figures? Are you at 7 figures yet? Like what, without, you don't have to, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but at what stage are you today?
I think in the Amazon world, it's normal to talk about that. So.
It is. But, I didn't ask you if I can ask this. So I did ask if anything's off limits, but yeah.
No, I can tell. I'm close to 7 figures now. So I have more products coming in. Like I said earlier, I'm at 7 products. I have an 8 and 9 product coming in. So it all depends on Q4 for me. I have some products that sell really well in Q4. So yeah, we'll see. But for sure, it's been great. A lot of up and down, like we talked about,
but more ups. Worth it, you say, at the end of the day.
For sure. Like for me, it's all about the lifestyle. Like I don't want to be cheesy. Like online you hear all the stuff about vacation. Like I haven't took a vacation in a while, but yeah, I think you have a lot of free time during the day. Like you don't work as many hours as a 9 to 5. There's some week that you have no choice. You're gonna work 60, 70 hours, but some week you're gonna work like 10 hours. So for me, that's huge. Just spending more time with people you like, doing stuff you like to do, and yeah,
time freedom.
Yeah.
Time freedom, I think, for me, e-commerce is, and my online businesses, it's the time freedom that I have, especially I'm a mom, so if suddenly my son's sick, I don't need to rush and find a babysitter and things like that. So I think that time freedom is a lot more important to me than anything else in this world. Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm so excited to be kicking off a new series called Seller Success Stories, and today's first guest is someone who started selling in 2019. Today in 2021, he is just about to hit 7 figures and has 7, going on 8 and 9 products. Phil started coaching with me in 2019. I think it was November 2019. We did a few months of coaching, and then he went off and did his thing and just recently contacted me and let me know how that coaching he originally did with me helped him to give him the foundation he needed to then be able to grow. He also went and did a lot of other things as well that also helped him. And we're going to be talking about in this specific video the good, the bad, and the ugly, because every single business has 2 sides to it, right? So we're going to talk, you'll see in the interview, I ask him all of the good stuff, but I also ask him about the different hurdles he's been through, because I remember some of them, I went through some of them with him, and also he was able to be resilient and overcome some of them himself as well. Even as we were filming, he was going through some different tough situations within his business. But really what I want you to take from these stories is how, when you are resilient and you have just that everything's figure-outable attitude, that you can really see how it's going to be able to be worth it in the end. So in this series, I'm going to make sure that I'm bringing people on that have been selling for a while, not just someone that may have just had 2 or 3 months of success. This is someone that has been selling for almost 2 years. And that's, I think, going to be a lot more relatable than to bring someone on that's only just launched, or someone that started selling, when I did, and the game sort of changed since then. If you're new here, my name is Sharon Evan. Welcome to my channel. I am a 7-figure Amazon FBA seller. I'm also an Amazon FBA coach. I'm the co-host on the Seller Sessions podcast and the founder of the Amazon FBA Alphas community. I also speak at many different Amazon related summits and events, and I absolutely love what I do. I'm also a mother and a wife. And on this specific channel, I try to bring out really good, high and valuable content around e-commerce and Amazon FBA. So if that is something that you are interested in, not only check out my other videos, but also make sure to hit that subscribe button and to hit the notification bell so you know when I bring out more videos. I'm super excited to be sharing Phil's story with you today, and I'm also very thankful to Phil for allowing me to interview him and to put this up on the channel as well. So thank you to Phil. I hope that you guys get really inspired and motivated by what you're about to hear, but also that it gives you a little bit of tools possibly to be able to overcome hurdles if they do arise. I know that this is a pretty long video, so although I encourage you to watch it till the very end, for those of you that want to really go and get to a very specific place, in the description of this video, I'm going to be putting a chapters section where you can see it exactly what specific situation we spoke about what. You can click on it and it'll take you straight to that. Also, if you are struggling with your Amazon business or with finding a product, I do one-on-one coaching, but I also have an in-depth product research and sourcing course where I teach how to find products without using softwares, how to find products that actually solve problems, how to develop those products, how to contact and negotiate with suppliers, and then how to source that product. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm also going to be putting a link to my website down below. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. And today I am so excited to have a seller story on with Phil. Hey Phil, how are you?
Hey Sharon, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm very thankful that you agreed to come on my channel. I know that it's not the normal for you. So thank you for agreeing to come on and giving everyone a little bit of insight of what you've been going through ever since you started selling, and hopefully some motivation for other sellers out there. So thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. It's good to get out there sometimes. So yeah, I'm happy to be here and excited to get the call going.
Cool. So Phil, you started selling on Amazon in 2019,
yeah.
Right? You and I first met, and the reason I asked you to come on today is because you and I did some coaching 2019. You had a lot of ups and downs, and then out of nowhere, you sent me a message 2 years later and said, "Hey Sharon, I just wanted to let you know, like, an update that I still sell on Amazon and I'm doing really well." And I was really surprised and really happy to receive the message from you. And we spoke a little bit, and we just spoke before we started recording as well. You told me about all sorts of ups and downs you had. And I was like, oh, I feel like it's really going to be motivating for other people to hear his story. So can you tell us when you started selling and what the beginning of your journey looks like or looked like when you first started?
Yeah, so for sure, like you said, it was a little bumpy road. I started selling, it was exactly the 23rd of October in 2019. And I took two online courses at the time. And looking back, I realized how much information was missing in the course, and I did a couple mistakes, and especially at the beginning when you don't know exactly what to do. And so yeah, at that time, I remember that my products were on the water from China going to the US, and I was stressing out. I was just like, no, I need to talk to someone, and just to make sure everything is good. And yeah, that's when I reached out to you. Just before my products arrived.
And then I remember that when you and I started coaching, you actually had 2 products. So you were crazy enough to launch 2 products at the same time, right?
Yeah, I went all in. It was a risky investment, but calculated. Like I said, I took 2 online courses, so I had like a good knowledge about Amazon, but I didn't have the experience. So having you as a coach at the beginning with all the experience and the one-on-one was huge, because like online courses are great, but if you don't have that coach one-on-one to make sure everything is set up correctly, it can be hard and stressful. I remember all the emotion I had. And but yeah, so I went and invested a lot of money in 2 products, and one of the products were Beyblades at the time, and I launched that product, and it was doing super well for like a couple of days until Amazon abolished Beyblades, so nobody could sell Beyblades anymore. And yeah, so that was the first products which I finally sold on eBay. So I didn't lose money, but it just took a while to sell the product. And the second one was another one that we worked together, and that's the one that basically went on the call, and you looked at my products and the niche and the customer we were targeting, and that's when really understood like what it needs, what it needed to be, like from A to Z, like the conversion and traffic. So that's pretty much when we met each other for that product.
I will never forget you as a client, because that's when I really understood how important it is for me to also talk about buyer avatar. People don't know, but I remember almost every call and almost everyone that I've coached, but there are like certain things that really had a great impact and made me a better coach. And you're one of those people, because with your original, like the product that you came to me for, your buyer avatar that you had tried to target, I remember that I was looking at your PPC. We didn't talk about this, but this is how good my memory is. I remember I was looking at your PPC, and I remember telling her, like, I think your buyer avatar is all wrong. I think that this product is actually made for this buyer avatar. And I told you we have to change all your images. We have to change everything about your listing. And you trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
You trusted me and you did it. And I remember that at that period of time, it really paid off. Also because it was Q4 and it fit your product. But I also remember, like, I'm pretty sure it paid off for a while. So what did you learn from that lesson about buyer avatars and understanding who you're selling your product to?
Yeah, so like we talked about before the call, I worked for an agency around that time, and I met so many clients, and I kept repeating keywords. So important, like why is it so important, keywords? But back then, I was like, oh, keywords, like I was brand new. I was a newbie on Amazon, so I was like, oh, keywords are not like that important. I just need like a couple keywords. I had no idea. So that's when we looked at my PPC and we realized that my products were for kids. So all the good keywords were like kids, kids for. So, and that's when we went all in and really focused on kids, because it was too general. I was trying to just target everyone.
Yeah.
It was the first time I sold a product online. I had no idea. But yeah, that's when we realized, just like in any business, when you focus on one niche, one target customer, that's when it works out. So that's the big move I think we did.
Did that lesson for you, like, give you tools to understand for the next products, to really understand who you're selling your product to on like a buyer avatar level? Like, did it change the way that you then looked? Because you and I did 8 hours of coaching, and then maybe you asked me a question here or there, but then for 2 years I didn't hear from you anymore, which is a good thing. It means I did my job, right? But I definitely like gave you the tools for it. But did that also give you, because I talk about buyer avatar a lot today, and that's something that's like a gift you gave me from our calls, was that I learned, okay, it's really important for me to teach people, really understand who your customer is, because when you understand who your customer is, you're going to know exactly what images to have, exactly what kind of keywords to go after, and exactly what experience to give them, so they'll want to give you reviews, etc. So did that lesson help you to then be able to understand who you're really selling to in your next products that you found and sourced and launched yourself?
Yeah, exactly. That was huge, because once you understand it like completely and you see the difference, because I wasn't selling much at the beginning, I'm sure you remember. And once we did those little switch and focus on the kids, switch the images. In my image, I had the person was like 25 years old. And after that, we switched it to a boy that was probably 7 years old as the main image. And my sales, just by changing the images, my sales increased by four times what I had. So that's when I was like, oh wow, like that's 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 why it's so important. The images, like it's 80% of the sale on Amazon. So yeah, after that, I did the same thing with my third product. I just made sure to do a lot of research and look into the keywords to understand the product better. Because when you do all the keyword research from your competitors, that's when you see, like, you understand your target client and everything. So yeah, I just repeated the process, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I did the same thing for I'm now at 7 products, and
Wow.
they're all doing really well. And yeah, so it was good foundation to start off with, and to continue after that.
You know, on my channel, I try and talk about, I try and bring balance into my channel. I explained this to you before our call. I could have had a lot of people come on to the channel, but I love having people that have been selling for more than a year, so that they can talk about the good and the bad. I think it's important to show a balance of, because in every business, there's well, I hope that many people have a good side, but every business has a lot of challenges. Before we get into your challenges, I want to show a screenshot to remind you. I remember this is a screenshot from 2019. You can see it there. Oops, I clicked on the date. But anyway, that's a screenshot. Here it is. From 2019, this was your sales after we had those calls. Obviously, this was being very straightforward. This was Q4 as well, and it was a perfect time. But you launched in October, and in December, you did $17,000, and you were like, third month of selling, right? Yeah. You remember that? Isn't it crazy going back and seeing that? That's from 2019. We're filming this in July 2021.
Yeah.
So, that's just me also wanting to show people, you know, you stuck with it. And this is going to lead me into, can you share a little bit about the downside? So we had a lot of upsides. The downsides we spoke about, you tried to sell blade blades, I think it's called, in the beginning as well, which we didn't talk about or do coaching on that. But I think the problem was that it's patented. I think that was the problem, or it was copyrighted, or I think it was patented. That was the issue, right?
Yeah, a patent and a trademark. So Beyblade is basically a brand name.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they weren't making sure, like, there was a bunch of sellers selling Beyblades without the brand name. They were like, in the US, they were like at least 30 sellers, and they were all doing super well. And so that's why I went in. I was like, oh, like, everything's good. But at one point, one day, Beyblade just went to Amazon, and they just made sure nobody sold Beyblade except them. So that's where all the problem arrived. So that's when I started selling on eBay. So I'd like to talk about that for a minute, because I always have this thing where I say, this is a word I stole from Grant Cardone, but he always says everything is figure-outable. So you can figure everything out, almost everything. I really do believe in that. I've been through a lot in my life, and I think that there's always a solution. And you could have just said, oh, stuff this, you know, and you could have thrown the stock away, you could have written it off, but you didn't. And you went and sold it elsewhere, and you stuck to it. And did you end up at least breaking even or making a profit on that, or what ended up happening with that? Yeah, I did a tiny profit on it, but it was just a pain because it took a while to sell.
Yeah.
I think it took like 9 months. And on Amazon, that inventory, I think I had 500 or 1,000. It was 500. I would have sold it in a month on Amazon. So cash flow wise and business wise, it would have been better. But I was super stressful when, like, Amazon came to me and they were like, oh no, you can't sell that product anymore. And I was like, shit, what am I doing now? So that's when I was like just looking for opportunity, and I started selling on eBay. But yeah, there's always, that's the good part of the business. Like, we're selling products, so there's a value, and you can always sell it maybe for cheaper, worst case scenario, but that's the good part of selling products.
I totally agree with that. And I think that it's important to also say, because the good thing in my experience before even selling on Amazon, when it comes to products, I don't know if you know this, but I used to have an online store in Israel. And in general, I started selling a long time ago. When I was 15 is when I first started selling online. And I've been stuck with stock in the past. But the good thing about physical products in my experience is that, like, it's always going to be worth something, and you're always going to be able to sell it somewhere. So if it's not on Amazon, it could be, I'm not kidding, it could be on a garage sale, it could be on Groupon, it could be on eBay, it could be anywhere. And even if you don't make the money back within a month like you would have done, at least you were able to, like, the risk factor was that you were able to get your money back eventually, just on a cash flow level, not as fast as, you know, as you would expected. But the lesson I really think that is a good lesson for people to take from that is you didn't stop, you know, you kept going. What other things have you gone through? So you and I finished our coaching sometime, I think at around maybe January, something like that, in 2020, maybe end of December 2019, I can't remember. And so from there, since now, you've gone and sourced another 7 products and launched another 7 products. We'll talk about the good stuff soon, but what challenges have you come across since in that period of time?
Yeah, so the main one would be that I was like, you've seen the screenshot. I made good money at the beginning, and I was like, okay, let's go. So I went too aggressive. Like, I went super aggressive, and I had a little bit of cash flow issues. So I invested in 2 more products in like the next 2 months, and the third month I invested in a third products. So wow. Yeah, so that was a little too much. So, but again, I took action quickly, so my business scaled really quickly. So like, looking back, is the best thing I could have done, but it was too stressful.
Yeah.
Because I had to manage the money. I had to borrow a little bit of money, and just really just working harder. And I sold stuff from my apartment. I just went all in. So I don't advise that because of the stress level. And you can just learn from one product at the beginning, and like, it was huge, the product we worked together. And I think that's the most important thing. You focus on one thing at the beginning, and you build up, but not too fast, because yeah, you're gonna have a bit of cash flow issues. So that was the main bumpy ride, the most stressful one. Yeah, for sure.
So having cash flow issues, today we're in 2021. We are after, well, I mean, in many countries in the world, COVID is still out there. But how did having the business affect you or impact you or help you or whatever in 2020, going through the pandemic? Did it help with, like, was there a huge increase in sales? Did it help you in a level of, you know, I don't know if today you worked or you were studying or whatever you were doing, but how was 2020 for you as a seller in your business in general? Hey guys, I hope that you're enjoying the video. Thank you for watching it. I just want to remind you that if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and also hit that notification bell so you know when I bring out more videos.
Yeah, that's a good question. One of my product was really good for COVID. So I got sales similar to the Q4, basically like the screenshot we showed. So it was really good for that product. And the other products were just, they just remained stable. And at that time, I was working for an agency that was doing done for you. So that was huge. I really learned from that company, and from seeing all kinds of clients. There were brands that were making 7 figures, 6 figures. So different clients, different products. So that was the best thing, I think, for me, just to learn quickly, see, just being 100% into Amazon, not just looking all over the place. So yeah.
So was the choice to start working at an agency for like having cash flow? Was it in order to gain more experience without needing to pay for it, or the opposite, getting paid for it? Like, where did the choice of joining then an agency come from?
Yeah. So at the beginning, I only had one product. It did super well, but I don't, I didn't want to have only that source of income. It was too risky at the beginning. I was just a brand new seller. So for me, it was for security, but mostly to learn like as quickly as possible. I was working 40 hours a week in the environment of Amazon, so I think that was huge for me, just to learn so much about it and just apply what I learned faster. So I think that's the biggest reason why I think I grew pretty quickly. And yeah, it wasn't because of the money, because I wasn't getting like a huge salary, but the knowledge and the people there that help was huge for sure. Yeah.
I spoke last year at Branded by Women, which is like an event for women, basically. Well, not for women, by women, branded by women. So men and women can listen to it, but it's a summit just by women. Okay, as in we only women present. Yeah, and Danny, who is the founder of Branded by Women, didn't let me talk about anything that I love. He said, I don't want you to talk about stuff that you always talk about. So don't talk about PPC. Don't talk about product research. Like, only talk about something new. And then I thought about the other opportunity that has come from e-commerce, which is, as e-commerce grows, so does the need for service providers. So coaches, photographers, copywriters, graphics designers, PPC management. Like, as e-commerce keeps growing, we all hire stuff. Like, if you think about it, you outsource your copywriting, you outsource your photography, you hired a mentor. Like, the amount of people that you've hired, you may have VAs today, I don't know, but the amount of people today that we all as business owners hire, it means that there's another opportunity out there for people in general. You and I both use Milana from Pixelnet Studio for graphics designing. Milana started her journey from being a seller. And then when we started coaching, I was like, you made these images? Like, she made her own images. And I was like, oh my God, you are an amazing graphics designer. And, she's built a really amazing agency from doing that. And I think that that's something that not many people also think about. I mean, I know you didn't get into the agency in order to, make money. It was more for, hey, I can learn a lot faster. Like, I've got the tools, I've got the foundation, I've got the basis, but now I can learn a lot faster. But I think that just for the people listening to us, e-commerce can mean many things, and it can be, you know what I mean? Like, it can mean so many different things. So yeah.
That's so true, and that's so important for people that are looking to maybe sell on Amazon one day, because like, people are thinking all over the place. They're looking for opportunity and starting and like 10 things at the same time, cryptocurrency, consulting, whatever it is. But like, if you're like focused 100% in one thing, you're gonna achieve way more. And like, if you keep it simple, and the biggest business in the world is Amazon. So if they grow, we grow, and everybody else grow, like the graphic designers, copywriters. So I think it's just to keep it simple and just go into what's already working. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that, A lot of people start Amazon. I'm sure you've seen this from being a part of the community now. A lot of people start Amazon and decide that Amazon isn't for them, right? But it doesn't mean that there isn't other opportunities out there for them. You know, if you're an amazing copywriter, start a copywriting business for Amazon sellers. If you're an amazing photographer, do product photography. If you're really good at making videos, like make video, you know what I mean? Like if you do decide that e-commerce on an Amazon product level isn't for you, or even for cash flow, you know, as well. So, I mean, we're totally off subject, but I just think that it's a good thing for people to think about as well. But
I think that's huge because like people don't necessarily think about that. Like it's not only Amazon and selling products on Amazon. There's so many
whole
things
world around it.
Yeah.
You use two service providers that both I pushed to start their businesses that are not Amazon, you know. So both your photography and your copywriters are people that are, you know, that I pushed to do that, because I think that first of all, I think it's important to focus, like you said, on one thing. But I also think that diversifying yourself once that one thing is working is also important, because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So it'll be interesting to get in touch with you in like a year or two from now and see what you're doing, whether it'll be just Amazon or whether you'll be doing something else as well. Once you've built that team that's doing it, a lot of the work for you, it'll be interesting where you'll be in 2 years from now. Or maybe you would have done an exit and you'll just be sipping 𝗔𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏s on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens for sure. But yeah, I think if you do what you like, you win already. So I think we love Amazon, but it's not for everyone. But yeah.
So first of all, what is your business looking like today? Is it just you? Do you have a team? I think you mentioned that you have 7 products up today. Like, what is the Amazon business that you started in October 2019, which is not that long ago? What does it look like today in July 2021?
Yeah, so I have a VA that's helping me with all the how do you say that? All the cases on Amazon, all the little fixes. If I have like uploads to do. I have a VA for that that's working many hours per week and doing an amazing job for me. And I also have someone taking care of my PPC because I just like to focus on what I like to do and my forces. And for me, it's all about product research, just building a good product, inventory management and cash flow, and the rest, my PPC. There's not a lot of people that delegate PPC, but the ones taking care of my PPC is doing an amazing job. So that's pretty much where I'm right now.
Did the person that's doing your PPC, are they a PPC person, or did you put them through my PPC stuff? What did the PPC look like? What does your PPC look like today? Is it like what I teach, or what is it like?
Yeah, so like we talked about earlier, I use your PPC strategy, and it was amazing. I just went all in with all your PPC strategies, and it helped a lot. And like for, I'd say, a year and a half, I was doing just everything by myself until when I was looking for people to help. And when I met with that person that's doing my PPC, I just ask questions because I want to make sure like the person had the same mindset and the same vision for the PPC, and a lot of her strategies was the same as yours. So I was like, okay, like it's a good fit, it's gonna work out. And we tried one product, and she did an amazing job. So after that, I just give her all the products.
That's good. Yeah. At what stage? So how long ago did you start like hiring? You know, even 2 people, it's still a team. But when did you start? How long was it into your journey when you said, okay, I want to focus on what I'm good at, and let me outsource the stuff or let me hire people or build a team for the things that I don't need to be doing myself because somebody else can do it?
So my VA that's doing all the day-to-day stuff started about 6 months ago. And my PPC manager was really recently, I'd say like 2 months ago.
Great. Good on you.
Yeah, I really like it because there's just so much going on Amazon. And like at one point I was like, I have just no focus right now. Like I'm all over the place, and I'm just more calm, more concentrated. So I like it. I like it that way.
Before we started talking, you shared a little bit about you launched a product in Canada, and obviously we won't mention anything about the product, but you did say that you launched a product in Canada and it went really, really well and you sold out within 2 days. But because of all the inventory issues, you just couldn't keep the product like in stock. So can you tell us a little bit about that? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, because there are a lot of people who are kicking butt, you know, right now, like me and you, but there's also a lot of people that, not that you and I kicking butt means that we don't go through shit, because we do on Amazon. I mean, I told you earlier about the shit show I went through last year on Prime Day, and I made a whole video about that, but that's for a different time. But the reason I asked this question is because I think it's important that people hear that just because we're going through this one thing, it doesn't mean that we give up. We keep going. So can you tell us a little bit about what you went through with your recent launch on Canada now, because you told me, but can we talk about it again now that we're recording? And can you explain sort of how you may end up giving up on that product, but it doesn't mean that you're going to give up in general. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So that product is like a low price product. I was selling it at like $20, and the demand was huge. Like it's something that's super popular right now. And so I was really confident in the product, and I was super excited. I was just doing my accounting and like looking at my future cash flow, and I was like, oh, that's going to be great. So I launched that product, and in 2 days I was out of stock. So I was like, oh yes, that's good.
How many units is that in 2 days?
So, 75, because that was the limit in Canada. So that's the thing in Canada. The limit is super low right now. So yeah, as soon as the limit increased, because in 2 days the limit didn't have time to increase, so I can send other stock. So I was out of stock. The limit was still 75 because the algorithm takes at least 2-3 days to see what's going on. So I sent back another 75 units, and it took like 2 weeks until it was available because of the transportation. Once it goes to Amazon, to the other warehouses, and after that it's finally available. But the same thing happened. I was out of stock after 2 days. So now it's been like 2 weeks that I'm selling, and the system sees that I'm out of stock for 10 days. So it's like detecting slowly that the product is not, you know how the algorithm works. So that's what happened. So I sent another, that increased to about 100 units. So I sent back 100 units, and took another week or two until it was available. And the same thing happened. So basically the limit never really increased to like 200 where I could build momentum. So it was going super high for 2 days and down for so many days. So the algorithm just didn't work. So I finally ended up selling it on the Facebook Market, like I said earlier. But that was good because I made more profit at the end of the day with Facebook Market. But time just takes more time to sell it for sure.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about that because you're a perfect example of someone who's very resilient and someone, well, just perfect example of an entrepreneur, to be honest, because, when we go through difficult times in business, and I've gone through a lot of shit in my businesses. I first started selling online when I was 15. I'm 32 now, and I've had a failed online store that I put a lot of money in before I started Amazon. And I've had a lot of failures, obviously a lot more successes. But the one thing that I think is like the reason I'm successful is because of my resilience and my ability to solve problems. And that you're the same. So you're like, okay, currently this product that, I'm not able to build momentum on Amazon right now. I'm not going to throw it in the bin. I'm not going to try and liquidate it. Let me sell it on Facebook, marketplace. Yes, it means it's not as easy, right? You have to work a little bit harder, but again, everything's figure outable, and you found you found a solution for it. Not only that, you're making more money from this other solution, right? It's more profitable for you.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, I think we like it at the end of the day. Like sometimes we can like the pain a little bit. Maybe it's subconscious, but I don't know, because every time like I go through something hard like that, after that I'm like, I need something like so. But yeah, no, it can be painful, and sometimes it's hard for sure. Like sometimes it's like, give me a break. And but it's just keep going. And I think at the end of the day, like if you just keep going, you're just going to learn from all those situations, and you can just build on that. And like for me, I'm not going to go into the Canadian market for that kinds of product, like low price products, unless the limit's going to increase. So now I know that like that's not the great situation right now. Yeah.
What marketplaces what Amazon marketplace do you sell in today? Do you sell just in Amazon US? Do you sell in Canada? Like what marketplaces do you sell in now?
I sell in the US and Canada, and I about 6 months ago I went into Europe. So I sell in Germany, Spain, France, Italy, and I'm just starting to sell in the UK.
And you don't have to tell us numbers, but where are you closer to today? Are you still in the 6 figures? Are you at 7 figures yet? Like what, you don't have to, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but at what stage are you today?
I think in the Amazon world, it's normal to talk about that.
So. It is. But I didn't ask you if I can ask this. So I did ask if anything's off limits, but yeah.
No, I can tell. I'm close to 7 figures now. So I have more products coming in. Like I said earlier, I'm at 7 products. I have an 8 and 9 product coming in. So it all depends on Q4 for me. I have some products that sell really well in Q4. So yeah, we'll see. But for sure, it's been great. A lot of up and down, like we talked about, but
more ups. Worth it, you say, at the end of the day.
For sure. Like for me, it's all about the lifestyle. Like I don't want to be cheesy. Like online you hear all the stuff about vacation. Like I haven't took a vacation in a while, but yeah, I think you have a lot of free time during the day. Like you don't work as many hours as a 9 to 5. There's some week that you have no choice. You're gonna work 60, 70 hours, but some week you're gonna work like 10 hours. So for me, that's huge. Just spending more time with people you like, doing stuff you like to do, and yeah.
Time freedom.
Yeah.
Time freedom. I think for me, e-commerce is, and my online businesses, it's the time freedom that I have. Especially, I'm a mom, so suddenly my son's sick. I don't need to rush and find a babysitter and things like that. So I think that time freedom is a lot more important to me than anything else in this world. I would trade time freedom for I would trade money for time freedom any day. Meaning I'd rather make less money, but have more time freedom. Not that that's the scenario, but if I had to, that's what it would be. just to be able to control my own hours. And basically, it's not that I don't work, I work really hard. And you said as well, some weeks you work 60-hour weeks and some weeks you may work 10-hour weeks, but you know, and you also have the ability to build a team, which you're doing, which is really good. Like I'm really proud of you, so well done.
I appreciate it. It all started at the beginning. I had a good foundation.
I think you had, I think I, you know, I think I was able to give you a great foundation, but I think that what you did was you went in and you took those tools and you actually used them. And then you went and grew from other places as well. And just well done to you. Cause I do know that your journey, even though there was like about a year or so that we didn't speak, I know that your journey was up and down. And I personally love when I hear, you know, people that have had those up and downs and they're still standing on their own 2 feet today and still kicking butt, because the easiest thing to do, you know, I've done a lot of coaching now, so I've seen a lot of people also give up. Not from my, you know, most people like you, most people come to me once they already have a product, right? So it's not that I could have saved them or helped them in advance. It's more like, come fix the problem I have now. And not always is it fixable. Sometimes, you know, it's like, look, we need to sell out of this product and you need to find a new product, right? Yeah. Because it's not the product. But yeah, I'm just really, when you told me about, when I heard about, you know, how well you're doing today, I was like, oh, you're the perfect example of an entrepreneur, because it wasn't all, you know, a lot of people make it look like it's all unicorns and fairy tales and everything. You become a millionaire overnight, and it doesn't work that way. And even if you are doing, you know, 7 figures in sales today, I'm sure that, you know, understand today you need a lot of cash flow, because once you sell a lot of units, you need a lot of money for that cash flow. You can do a lot of reinvesting into the business. I'm sure that a lot of the money you've reinvested into the business, we didn't talk about that, but would you say that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, like pretty much everything. I don't live a fancy life, and I like to go in restaurants. That's pretty much it with friends. But yeah, I just reinvest everything. I don't have a fancy car or anything. But yeah, that's how you can grow faster. If you start spending on things you don't need, you're just not gonna grow your business. Yeah.
I'm really happy that you said that, because I probably wouldn't have even asked that question, but you just said something that's really important, that instead of trying to look rich and spend money on a whole bunch of stuff, just reinvest. And in the end, I mean, you're probably going to be able to exit sometime in the next 2 years and sell for a lot of money, where you will be able to buy whatever you decide to buy. I hope you invest it in real estate and things like that. But you know what I mean? You know, that's the type of person I am. I'm always about investing, but I'm happy you said that. So is your end game and what your end goal is today, is it to build up this business to eventually sell the business?
That's a good question. I thought about it, and my brand is just, there's a lot of opportunity. Like there's a lot like of products I can bring into that brand. So I think it can be big. And if I sell it, I'm like closing myself to something that could be good. So maybe it would be better for me to build another brand and sell that brand. I think that would be good. But yeah, I need to think about it, because I'm gonna have a better idea in maybe a year, or 6 months. But the best thing would be for me to build a second brand and sell that brand instead of the one I have currently, because I think the one right now can grow. Like people say you need to sell your business in 3-4 years, but I think that brand and that situation, it would be good for the long run. Yeah.
I can relate to you, because I've helped a lot of people exit, but I've not gone through an exit myself yet. And it's just because it doesn't make sense yet for us to go through it. I mean, we are interested in selling one of our brands. And there are some things that now that I understand how exits work, I need to fix them. But I understand exactly what you say, that, you know, I'd rather maximize this as much as I can as well, and then go through those exits. It doesn't mean it's going to be the right answer for everyone, but I think you're on the right track. So
yeah, we might be in the same situation. We have like we see products that we can add to our brands, and like the brand is just going to grow so much that after that we can sell it. I don't know if that's the case for
Yeah.
you.
Today, we're not actively adding lots of products to our current brands. It's just that our very niche products that we started selling a long time ago, all of our brands are very niche. A lot of them have just blown up, and they've become a lot more popular. And, you know, it's us and two other brands that are the big brands. And then everyone else that's new, they come and go. So it's more of like, I'd like to maximize it right now, you know, myself before I think about the exit. So I'm not saying an exit isn't something I hope for. I do, but like you said, I mean, in the last 2 years or the last year, like brands that used to be sold for like ×3 today are being sold for ×4, ×5, ×6. I think it's only going to get bigger in the next 2 years. I think at some stage it could be, you know, potentially ×1.5 of what it is today. So if today it's being sold by ×4, it could be that in 2 years from now it'll be ×6, ×7. So there's a lot of calculated decisions to make there, but yeah, I'd love to have you on in a year from now and sort of see, you know, this is where you were at 2019, this is where you're at 2021, where you're going to be in 2022.
Let's do it for sure.
I'm excited.
And people that are like wondering, why did they not talk that much for a year? We were talking about that, Sharon and I, we were saying like how important like it is to just focus. And for me, I learned everything I needed to know from Sharon, like PPC, knowing your client, and like how important the image is. But after that, like you need to just repeat the process with other products, and that's why I was so focused with the cash flow I got from the first couple months. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah,
you did great. First of all, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I know it's not easy to put yourself out there, so I appreciate you coming on here. I'm sure that you're going to inspire a lot of people as well.
Hopefully, I think we talked about some pretty good points. So.
Yeah. All right, Phil, thank you so much. And if anyone wants to see you, they can also see you. You're part of the Alpha Facebook group as well. I'm sure they can reach out to you there as well, right?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
If you've made it up to here, well done, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, I want to thank Phil for allowing me to interview him. And if you haven't checked out my other videos, there'll be some videos up here somewhere. I encourage you to watch them as well. And I will see you all in the next video.